Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Thursday, November 8th, 2018. Most of us today are waking up to the news out of the Los Angeles area, a mass shooting overnight at a country western bar. The early details are that a lot of the victims were at the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting last year in Las Vegas, October 1st, 2017. They're also reporting that this country western bar was full of off-duty police officers, and the first victim was a police officer. They're also saying the shooter was a Marine, 29 years old, who was suffering from PTSD, which is entirely possible. Overwhelmingly, in these mass shooting stories, the shooters are former military. And sadly, many former military are the most traumatized people living in this world because of the things they had to do while in the military that they go on to regret for the rest of their lives. And what people need to pick up on are the patterns. Former military shooters, shooting up locations full of police. We just had a synagogue shooting October 27th, where the majority of people shot in the initial reporting. The first reporting, if you follow that story, were 12 people shot, 8 of which were police officers. You just got to ask, how's that possible? A man goes into a synagogue to kill a certain group of people, and the majority of people he shoots are police officers. Then it comes out later that the synagogue's right across the street from the police station. And earlier in the year, the police station and that same Jewish community had practiced an active shooter drill. This morning, the spokesperson, the sheriff speaking out, Jeff Dean, he said that today is his last day on the job. He's retiring. And this community here had just recently done an active shooter drill, even with the local college students who were also at the bar. So again, the patterns, people got to pick up on that. And if you want to go even deeper with patterns, what you want to study is the language of gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. It's a Masonic practice. Masonry controls police. Masonry controls government. Masonry controls news media. You hear people say Illuminati, and then you hear some people say, Illuminati, isn't that just some Hollywood bogus BS? The only people who are saying that are people who don't know history. The Bavarian Illuminati was established just before the American Revolution. But Illuminati means in the light. Masonry is the pursuit of light. And light is knowledge. One of the hidden knowledges that they know about is the practice of coding numbers into words. And look at what happens as we look through this story, paralleling the October 1st, 2017 Las Vegas Harvest Festival shooting and this incident. And keep in mind, the day before this, we just elected a Democratic House on November 6th, which will become the 116th Congress. So check this out. From the Route Harvest 1 festival shooting to the November 7th, 2008 shooting, which were both country events, a country concert, a country western bar. Notice it was 1 year, 1 month, and 16 days. 116. The 402 days matters. The 57 weeks and 3 days matters. The 13 months and 6 days matters, especially since they're saying 13 people were killed, including the shooter. 13 is the 6 prime. But the one I really want you to look at is the 1 year, 1 month, 6 days. Country equals 116. And beyond country music, this is propaganda for the country, for the nation. This morning, you turn on the news, it doesn't matter what channel you go to, they're all saying the same thing. Sandy Hook, San Bernardino, yada, yada, yada. When are we going to take an action? When are we going to make it much harder for people to have weaponry? The agenda is this, if you don't see it yet. Our government, which is about controlling us, is taking steps to make sure they have us all more and more under their thumb. Surveillance, tracking, less liberties. less tax dollars going to things that have the capability to improve the quality of life, more tax dollars going to things that police us. Military cameras, more police, more heavily armored vehicles, police with higher powered weapons. This is what this agenda is building. So 116, and this comes the day after November 6th, where we elected the 116th Congress, which is now a Democratic Congress. And not to get into the politics thing, because it's all a big puppet show, but we know that from the more left side of the puppet show, there's more rhetoric about, banning weaponry. And you've heard the Democratic Party say in the past that they want to do things like make it so that for every gun you own, you have to pay an insurance policy on, kind of like for each car you own. If they start doing things like this, it's going to make it a lot harder for people to own weapons. And the thing about weapons is, if we as a people ever organized, they give us a fighting chance to overthrow the tyranny we all live under. That's what the powers that shouldn't be are afraid of. But really, they don't have anything to fear because look at us. We don't know how to work together at all, do we? A person like myself comes out here and works 5 years straight exposing the tyranny, and most people cast stones at me, So it's like people in this nation, they don't know who their enemy is. Moving on with the presentation. Think about the October 1st shooting. That date could be written 1/10, like 110. This more recent shooting, which is directly connected, is the Borderline Bar and Grill, 110. The Borderline Bar and Grill, 110. Also in gematria, Borderline Bar and Grill sums to 133. The difference between these ciphers is running the alphabetic order forwards and backwards, which is essential in this code. You got to know both ways, because important meaning both ways always. Borderline Bar and Grill 110, like October 1st shooting 1/10. Borderline Bar and Grill 133, like Las Vegas, Nevada. A big number with government. Talked a lot about this yesterday in the videos we did on the election. So it's a government agenda. It should be transparent. It's always the same thing. You're going to shoot up a bar. Why are you going to go to the bar where all the police hang out? You're not going to do that unless you're the MK Ultra victim that's programmed to do this and then kill yourself at the end, which they're saying this man did today. And isn't that the other familiar detail almost every time? Man shoots up the location, then kills himself. Borderline Bar and Grill. Also in our base ciphers. There's 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. The alphabetic order forwards and backwards with the rules of numerology. Very intuitive, very important to know all 4 base methods. Borderline Bar and Grill 367, which is the 73rd prime number. 73 matters. The police spokesperson today was Sheriff Jeff Dean, gematria of 73. The word Mason is 73. It is masonry that controls these agendas. It is masonry, again, that runs this nation. Government, media, police. Are there anything else that runs this nation? No. Masonry controls it all. If people really were murdered at this bar, which I'm not sure about, I've seen laughing victims already this morning. Even the police spokesperson, Jeff Dean, laughed a number of times as he talked about how he retires today. This is his last day on the job. It just makes me wonder, if he goes and lies before the media on his last day in the job, does he get a big, retirement bonus? Does he get to live life, larger, more vacations, big retirement boat? I don't know. But how interesting that today's his last day on the job. Reminds me of the movie Falling Down, also set in the same city. Anyhow, 367, the 73rd prime, sacrifice 73, ritual sacrifice 73. It's a number found around death often, and masonry is a death cult. Absolutely. For the record, 73 is also the 21st prime, and they're saying 20 people were shot with non-fatal injuries. Call it a coincidence. If you just take the word borderline in the base ciphers, it sums to 102 and 60. 102 was a number coded all over the Vegas shooting. And remember, that happened late October 1st, so it was the news all October 2nd, a date that can be written 10/2. You might recall that, just like how this shooting yesterday was late November 7th, and now it's the news today, November 8th. But borderline 102.60, police 6102. He shoots up the police bar, or where the bar where the police hang out, the borderline. Said the shooter was 29 years old. The shooting happened on a date with a life lesson number of 29 in numerology. 29, the first number that breaks down to 11 in numerology. 2 plus 9 is 11. 11, the master number. Think about the 10-1 shooting in Vegas. What's 10 plus 1? 11. And just to go back, if you guys weren't following me, all of 2017, my channel was deleted June of 2017. We're on channel number 18 here. All of 2017, I told people to circle that weekend that became the weekend of the Vegas shooting. I showed how the dates lined up with the weekend of Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is about judgment for sins. There ended up being a Sin City shooting. I predicted numerous times last year before that happened that we'd see the biggest false flag that weekend in the United States since 9/11, and it happened. And just so you know, if you write out casino, it equals 101. If you write out Mandalay Bay Casino, sums to 101. If you write out assassin, sums to 101. We had an assassin at the Mandalay Bay Casino on 10/1. They can be written 10/1, or it can be written 1/10, the ways it's written throughout the world. And you might recall that the concert going on was Jason Aldean. J-A initials, J's the 10th letter, A's the first, 101. So anyway, bringing that up because I'm going to start to show you how this shooter's name sinks in so perfectly with what was reported on the day of the Las Vegas shooting. You'll recall they said 58 were dead. And we talked about how the shooting was connected to the sheriff and the mayor. 58 days from their birthdays. One of them was 58 years old. Special number 58 that shows up again and again in these incidents, and it comes back to Masonry. Today, the shooter's name is said to be David Ian Long. And I've actually heard one news network say his name is Ian David Long. I've heard another news network say David Ian Long. ABC has it David Ian Long. CNN put up Ian David Long. I'm sure they'll get it sorted out. It doesn't matter. It's the same name either way, just in different order. But David Ian Long sums to 58, just like the 58 dead in Vegas. Freemasonry 58. Freemasonry was born out of the Rosicrucian Order. Rosicrucian 58. Secret Society 58. Very special number that we see again and again and again. Today's shooter, David Ian Long. If you just lose the middle name and take the name David Long, notice how it syncs up with policeman. Isn't it a little too perfect? It's the exact same in all 4 base ciphers. Don't forget, Nevada's 47. That was a big number on that incident as well. It always is. 47 is another trademark number of Freemasonry. If you're not familiar with the Freemason logo, let me just pull up my documents here real quick. I got a picture of this. The Freemason logo is set at, let's see if I can make that bigger. Whoa, hold on, maybe if I make this bigger here. The Freemason logo is the capital G with the compass set at 47 degrees as a tribute to the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation. Foundation equals 47, so does government, so does authority. Huge number in Washington, D.C. See the video I did yesterday on Jeff Sessions resigning or being fired 47 days before his birthday. The name Jeff Sessions is 47. So is the name Trump. So is President. So is White House. So is Republican. So is Democrat. One of the most special numbers to Freemasonry. So anyway, David Long, policeman, perfect overlap in all 4 base ciphers. They said he was a Marine. Marine's that branch of the military that has the gematria of 33, like police, like masonry, like secrecy, like federal, like order. His name also has some other pop-out gematria. Let it go for now. Including the shooter, they're saying 13 dead. 13. Do you remember how they put out the image of the shooter in Vegas and you could see a 13 tattooed on his neck? That was something we covered thoroughly last year. If you write out 13, it has all of this gematria, which we're going to go over. Notice this shooting was on November 7th, like 11/7. Last year, it was Yom Kippur that was the big thing for the shooting. Yom Kippur's 99. This shooting came yesterday, November 7th, the day leaving 54 days left in the year. Sin City. Yom Kippur is about atonement for your sins. Last year, the shooting was in Sin City. Is it Mandalay Bay that's also 99? It is. Mandalay Bay, where the shooting also took place. So that was last year. Now this year, they say 13 dead. It's that number again. 13, number of the moon. Masonry. They're into, mottos such as above, so below. What's taking place in the sky having to do with what's going on the earth. The moon, an important instrument in that philosophy, a measurement of time the moon is. That does its 13 cycles, where the primary symbolism of 13 comes from. Anyhow, 13 dead on November 7th. By the way, today, the day of the news, we have a new moon. Anyhow, 13, 117, November 7th shooting. Last year, it was, and just look at it, let's just read it. Some people who survived the borderline bar and grill shooting that left 13 dead, including the gunman, also escaped the mass shooting at the Route 91 Music Festival in Las Vegas last year, according to the Los Angeles Times. What people don't get about these two numbers is that 91's the 13th triangular number, meaning if you add 1 through 13 together, it equals 91. Talk about these numbers together all the time. But anyway, 13, 117. This happened in LA 13. Numbers that get paired together again and again. Here's the math on 1 through 13 added equaling 91. He killed 12 plus himself. With regards to him killing 12, Los Angeles, and our most pure cipher is 37, which is the 12th prime. I should also mention that Los Angeles has gematria of 109, like shooting's 109. Shooting's also 37. Military is 109. It was a military man, likely under MK Ultra. They said he used a .45 handgun to kill all the people he did. Powerful caliber handgun. You don't want to get hit with a .45. Notice when you write out 13 in our 4 base ciphers, one of the values it has is 45 in 2 of the 4 base ciphers. 13 dead on November 7th, a shooting with a .45. It has parallels to the shooting at Mandalay Bay in Sin City, both equaling 99. That shooting had everything to do with Yom Kippur. Again, November 7th, the day leaving 54 days left in the year. Just to show you how relevant this code is, if you go back a year ago today, it was Roy Halladay, the Cy Young baseball player, dying in a plane crash off the coast of Holiday, Florida. Roy Halladay. The day leaving 54 days left in the year. Baseball equals 54 in 2 of the base ciphers. Don't overlook the 162, like the number of games in the season. Remember Roger Maris, 61 and 61. 61, the 18th prime number. How about what just happened in the baseball game in the World Series this year, where we called the Dodgers in it from spring training? Longest baseball game in history in 2018 in the World Series. 18 innings, ended on the 18th hit, which was the 61st at bat by the Dodgers. 61, the 18th prime. Major League Baseball is also 117. Roy Halladay dead last year on this day. November 7th, the day leaving 54 days left in the year. So not exactly related to this story, but just again explaining to you the relevance of this code. Masonry controls the entire world of media, which includes sports, movies, music, TV shows, the entire world of media. And they do everything by this code. They release shows, movies, music albums, and they also murder the entertainers that perform, all by this same code. This is the complete code to understand who's responsible for the tyranny of this world. And again, if you are interested in this work, you can come to my blog. You can click on the book, multiple spots to click on the book. This book will teach you from the ground up how the code works, where its relevance is. The shooting last year at Mandalay Bay covered in great detail. This book's nearly 800 pages long. There's a chapter on mass shootings by the numbers. It's over 100 pages long, just that chapter. Every single mass shooting you can remember from history is in it, plus ones you probably forgot about, including the ones that come up again and again. Vegas, Sandy Hook, more. Very important book right here. And if you doubt that, just come read the reviews. Come read the reviews. We're up to 99 positive reviews. Funny that we're at that number right now. Maybe we'll get a few more today. But we got all 5-star reviews. A lot of people, mind-blowing. So, you guys got to support this book. We got to get it out there. People have to know about it. People have to get this knowledge. We're not going to stop the tyranny that is being waged against us until enough people are awake to it and have the knowledge to understand how it's done. Got to understand this code to see through what's really going on in this world today. There's no better way to understand it. It is very repetitive patterns for all of the wrongdoing in this world, from the murdering of people to, the staging or contriving of mass shootings, which this fits into.
I don't know what that means. If you like, I can search the word for.
My Siri came on. Now she's repeating what I'm saying. Anyway, we've reached the end of this. Just real quick, I got to take a peek at Pepperdine. If you've never been to Pepperdine University, it's like it's a rich kid school, and it's like how Pepperdine's got the 45 thing going on. What do you know? Connecting with the 13. Understand all the world of universities. It's all connected. It's all masonry. They control our education system. But Pepperdine's like a vacation resort of a school. Pepperdine. So it's got the 45 thing connecting back to 13. What about Thousand Oaks? Thousand Oaks got the 68 like the shooter. The shooter had the 68. That's the big old CIA number. CIA. The CIA's around, the Mass Mind Control Institute. You'll find the 68s. Doesn't this police officer look just like Mitch McConnell? This is supposedly the big hero here. He busted through the doors. I don't understand why he had to bust through the doors if the place is already full of cops, but his name was Ron Helis. Ron Helis. Take a peek. I know Ron's got that 47 gematria like policeman. Ron Helis. 41, the 13th prime. There's another 13 on it. If you write LA, LA's got the 41 and 13 gematria. Again, 41, the 13th prime. Big numbers there in LA. So was Ron Helis really sacrificed, or is this his retirement as well? But another part of me is going, is this guy related to Mitch McConnell? Because, I mean, the face is the same. The neck is the same. They both look like turkeys. This comes right before Thanksgiving. I don't know. We do live in the age of Photoshop and all sorts of sophisticated technology. Also, I should point out, in light of the 402 days, that's the big fat Freemason number. Our most pure cipher, the dark blue one. So I got to take off, you guys. I got to take my lady to school. If you're not signed up on the Patreon, today will be the first day of the hour-long podcast. You're going to want to sign up here. Thank you for all the new subscribers. growing that Patreon. You get a lot of content here. If you want the daily podcast, very inexpensive. $1 a month gets you, 20 plus podcasts a month, 20 plus hours of content, plus more. You get more than that for just $1 a month, but it'll be worth it. And again, the reason I want you guys to sign up, all 20-some thousand of you that don't contribute anything, can't pick up the book, can't, lift a finger, is if you guys sign up for this, we'll have a nice big sum of revenue through here, and I'm going to hire people, and I'm going to build a real Gematria News network. We're going to start going to the scene. Like right now, I'd be coming on and say, guess what I'm doing right now? I'd be showing you. I'm buying the plane ticket. I'm heading down to the Borderline Bar and Grill. And perhaps I will anyway, because this is a decent amount of revenue, but with more, I could hire a team of people and we could do this in a lot bigger way. And all of you guys could become a part of that by pledging $1 a month. Imagine all 20-some thousand of you right now, you pledge $1. And there's probably really more than 20-some thousand of you here. I used to have 60,000 subscribers, 2 years ago when they deleted my channel. I don't know where everybody's been. We're on channel number 18 now. Maybe people can't find me. But even the 20-some thousand of you that it shows, you guys pledged $1, we could take this to the next level. And for all of you saying, oh, I don't pledge money online, I don't do things online because then the government will track me. It's like, dude, the government's already tracking you. You're watching my YouTube video. They're probably already tracking you. Stop being so cowardly. Let them know you're watching. Let them know you're onto them. Let them know you're part of the movement that's about to fight back. And now my lady's staring at me like, what are you doing? We got to go. So, until next time, Truth Seeker.